What is up, everybody? It is Kiefer and Kriegs with Talking That Talk. Today is Wednesday, February 17th, 2021. A little different. We're just going to do a normal episode today. There's not a whole lot to talk about with Cubs talk. So, just going to have a breakdown of the games earlier in this week. What's going on. We got anything about tonight? Yeah, we got a few games tonight, and then looking forward up until Friday with a little bit of Cubs talk. We'll just get right into it. Monday, Bulls top the Pacers 120-112. Levine 30 points, 9 boards, 3 assists. Kobe White 19 points, 7 boards, 8 assists. Justin's favorite player, Patrick Williams, continues to shit the bed, 7 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist on 2 of 10 shooting. How you feeling about it?
He only shot 2 threes. Shot 1 for 2. Had I think
That's
3
50%,
turnovers
baby.
and he didn't have any fouls. So I don't know, dude. I'm not in on him. I think I made that pretty clear last episode. I'm still not in on him. Blackhawks top Detroit, top the Red Wings, 3-2 in overtime. Dominic Kubalik had 2 goals and an assist. Good to see them get the double over Detroit in a little rivalry game. Always good to see it. Big night on Monday for the ACC. We were talking about that top 25 matchup. Florida State ends up destroying Virginia 81-60. Gives Virginia their 4th loss. They're ranked 7th now. I don't know how often basketball rankings come out. I'm not sure, honestly. But you think they'll fall out of the top 10? Give them their 4th loss.
Yeah. They'll either be 10 or I don't see them going higher than.
I mean, they still lead the ACC.
Yeah. So that's why, 10 or 11 probably, depending on what they do the rest of the week. And other games throughout the NCAA. Florida State just dog walked them. Destroyed them on all facets of the game. We'll get into last night's games. Celtics beat the Nuggets 112-99. Jaylen Brown at 27, 5-5. Nikolai Jokic, 43 points, 6 boards, 5 assists. That man is a walking bucket, and he got absolutely no help.
Yeah, it was tough.
It's hard to
Nuggets,
see. Yeah, it's hard to see someone do that well and not get help.
right?
But like I said, the Nuggets haven't particularly looked great this year so far. But they are a team that when they play, they're playing good. They're one of the hardest teams to beat.
Mm-hmm.
The Celtics are, I don't know, I wouldn't say they're plateauing, but you're gonna win it. They're gonna
not really sure where we're going or not.
Yeah, they're gonna win a good game like that and then lose to a team that's not good.
Right.
It's just a matter of who's showing up and how they're playing. And then we'll say last night's blockbuster, the Nets and Suns. KD and Kyrie didn't play. But Harden had 38, 7 boards, 11 assists. He led the Nets as they were down 24 at one point to beat the Suns 128-124 without KD and Kyrie, like I said. Suns just fell apart, and Brooklyn couldn't miss down the stretch. Did you watch any of that?
I watched the ass end of it. I didn't watch a whole lot of it, but more towards the end.
That's Suns team's not terrible. Could be a lot better. The Nets are the Nets. Harden.
The Suns were pretty hot too.
Yeah, they were money in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
They were up like 22 going into halftime.
Yeah.
End up losing. That's a crappy way to lose.
It's a ball buster right there. Speaking of ball busters, Trevion Martin. Trevion Williams scored 28 points and Eric Hunter Jr. scored 15 as Purdue pulled away from MSU for a 75-65 win. No shocker there, really.
They're not going to make the tournament.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be an NIT year for State, which is the first time in a while, I think. And then there was supposed to be a pretty big game Tuesday night. in the Big 12, but it had gotten postponed, which they also postponed Thursday's Oklahoma and Texas game too. They played back to back where they would play in Oklahoma and then they'd play in Texas, or the other way around, one of the two. But they postponed the Thursday night game too, COVID stuff. So that beats that. Shorter segment of Cubs talk we'll jump into. Today's a big day if you're a baseball fan. Pitchers and catchers officially report. Start other teams. I think there were 6 or 7 teams that reported today. The Cubs being one of them. Cubs are always
teams tomorrow.
Yep, and then they'll continually start spring training here. I think the first game's next Wednesday. I think it is, or next Tuesday maybe. I don't know. But Cubs are always one of the first teams. They're always on the first day to report. One of the first teams. Arrieta is officially official for today. I don't think he's been placed on the roster yet, though.
He signed his contract today.
Right. I don't think he's been placed on the roster.
He reported to camp and signed. Okay. And while we're at that, just a couple names that threw bullpens today for the Cubs. Zach Davies, who we got for Darvish and Carantini. Trevor Williams, newly signed. Jonathan Holder, Dan Winkler, Rex Brothers, Robert Stock, Dwayne Underwood Jr., Joe Biagini. I don't even know how to say that dude's name. Brendan Little, Gray Fettner, DJ Snelton, and Tommy Nance. There's a few of those names that I couldn't tell you who they are.
Never heard of them. I mean, we've had Winkler and Underwood Jr. on the roster, so I don't know. We'll see. I don't think even if they do, I don't think they'll be up in the majors.
No, yeah. It's with them getting an invite. It is a sign of them coming up in the near future.
Right.
Because not just everybody gets invites. You're either really close to being in the major leagues, and they want to see how you do against top-level guys, or they're taking a shot on a recently drafted guy who they think could possibly make a big jump from single-A rookie ball up to double-A or triple-A.
Right. Yeah, we'll see how spring training. Cubs spring trainings are usually pretty quiet. They don't really, some spring trainings. The Cubs haven't really had a lower pick or like a higher pick in their draft as of recently because of the World Series stuff. Really, the only prospect that was hype last year was Nico. I'm not really sure who they're all inviting as far as other
position
prospects.
Players we don't necessarily know yet. Besides, obviously,
I know Amaya.
Yeah, Amaya will be there.
I know Amaya.
Amaya's there.
Yeah.
Contreras.
Yep. Well, so we'll see.
We'll know more come Monday because full team starts Monday.
Yep. Kipnis announces that we talked about Monday that maybe the Cubs are looking for that left-handed bat to play util at second and where they needed to in the infield. He announced yesterday or maybe today, I'm not sure, that he signed with the Atlanta Braves.
So 1 year deal.
Good luck to him. Yep, 1 year deal. Good luck to him. Didn't really make a huge impact as the Cubby. Hopefully, he. I mean, I don't know where he's gonna play. He's not gonna play every day in Atlanta.
No, not he'll play when Albies doesn't play, which isn't very often. I mean, Albies was hurt last year.
Yeah,
he's not.
So it's a good backup, good second, good plan B. So Cubs are still on the lookout for that left-handed bat. I'm not really sure.
I think they're a move or two away from being done with free agency.
Yeah,
I really hope it's Jeffries. Really, really hope it.
And Samardzija.
That would be nice.
But I mean, we'll see.
Cubs are not will not implement a six-man pitching rotation. Pitching coach talked about that yesterday, which we kind of figured. Said injury concern and depleting the bullpen early is very alarming with a six-man rotation, which he's absolutely correct. This sixth starter is necessarily going to be the long-term long reliever. He'll pitch in the rotation when he needs to, fill in for maybe an injury, a scratch last minute,
Right.
or come in the first or second inning if something happens to the pitcher. Eat innings.
Yeah.
He'll get close to the innings that a starter would get, but he's not a starter. Which, I mean, most teams in the league do that.
I think that's going to be Alec Mills.
The way
if
it's
I'm being honest.
the way it's looking, probably.
You got to think Hendricks and Arrieta are going to be our 1-2.
Or Alazar.
Zalazar, yeah. Adbert.
Adbert.
I don't know, dude. I think you give him the 5 coming out opening day. You let him. I think his biggest inconsistency has been going up and down.
Yeah,
that's what has hurt him. So I think you give him. Alec Mills is an established major league pitcher. I don't think he's gonna make a trip down to AAA anytime soon. So I think you give the start. You give the 5 spot to Adbert because 1 and 2 is gonna be Arrieta and Hendricks. 3 and 4 is gonna be Davies and Williams.
Actually might be 2.
Yeah, okay. Arrieta will probably be 3.
Hendricks for sure 1, and then it'll be either Davies or Arrieta 2, and the other will be 3, and then obviously Williams will be 4, and then that 5th is.
And then I think you got to give it to Adbert to start the season, just to see how he does. Let him get a couple starts under his belt, and then like you said, throw if you need an extra rest day or something like that, throw Mills in for a game, or if say Arrieta gets if Arrieta gets hit around, or he can't go 4 or 5 innings, throw in Mills. Throw in Mills for a couple innings. I think Mills is good in that position as kind of like the long reliever / casual start guy. He's a good pitcher.
He's got good stuff.
Obviously he threw a no-hitter last year. He's not going to blow anything past you. He's
a mini Kyle Hendricks.
Yeah. And I think, I'd like to see, not that I don't think he can be a starter. I'd like to see him get, 10 starts this year, probably. At minimum, depending on how Adbert does and what we decide to do with moving people and injuries and, but I think they're going to give the 5 spot to Adbert to start the year. David Ross.
Should know more in a week or so.
Yeah. David Ross kind of cleared up the clouds for a couple of things that weren't really set in stone. Ian Happ, he envisions to be the leadoff hitter. That was pretty much a given. He did say, quote, "In my mind's eye, Craig Kimbrell is our closer," which when that initially came out, I sent it to Zach, and we were both kind of.
I'm not happy. We paid Kimbrell too much, and Jeffries pitched his ass off last year, and doesn't even look like they're in talks with him about bringing him back. Obviously, he pitched well enough to where he's going to get a decent contract, but you free up all this money with Darvish, pay the man. Whether he's the 8th, he's pitching in the 8th or the 9th, and Kimbrell's opposite of him. If you can have one really good closer and one pretty good closer, you help your bullpen out so much. It's more
because when Kimbrell Kimbrell pitches a 40 inning save or 40 pitch save.
Yeah. Or say he throws 3 days in a row.
Right. You still have that. I think there's a lot of trust in Jeffries. With him going out there. I wouldn't trust really anyone else in the 9th.
No.
I mean, moving into bigger news, signed Pedro Strop to a minor league contract, gave him an invitation to spring training, $800,000 year deal if he makes the major league team out of spring training. Bless you.
Thank you.
So I don't trust him in the 9.
I don't trust him anywhere besides a 4 or 5 run lead.
Yeah.
Cubs did sign Brandon Workman too, who will be a decent piece in the bullpen. Guaranteed $1 million, depending on how he performs, up to $3 million. That's not a bad signing. I'm content with it. I'm a Jeffries fan. That dude was fucking great last year. Give him the money.
I think we look at a bullpen with Jeffries and Kimbrel in the 8-9 spot, Workman, Strope, Rowan Wick, Brad White,
6, 7, and Winkler.
Kyle Ryan, and Winkler.
And I mean,
I think-
Underwood's going to be there too.
Yeah, Underwood will be there too. He'll see
But
time.
6, 7, those guys. 6, 7, 8,
Yeah.
depending on the closing situation. But if you sign Jeffries, your starters go 6, at least 6. At worst case, they go 5. You work a couple innings. You work 2-3 innings with your middle relievers, and then you got Jeffries or Kimbrel to close out games. Like, what more could you ask for?
Right.
You go from
Especially if you can, like you said, get the 6 out of your starters. You can work Workman, Strope,
yes, you can. You've got options.
Rowan Wick. Yeah, you got a lot of options to work in that 7, maybe even 8 hole. Shit, give them an off day sometimes, you know.
Yeah, even
But
they work.
that's
the
always
7th.
that's always been the Cubs' downfall is the asset of the bullpen.
Yep.
I can literally remember my dad watching games with my dad sitting on the couch and him getting so fucking furious at Carlos Marmol.
Well, he
Like-
wasn't. He did have some control issues, but he still saved 40 games.
Right.
And he would have saved more given the opportunity. Because they
Yeah.
sucked. They were bad when he was
They were
saving
bad.
40 games.
Yeah.
You give him, I don't know. I'm not saying he's going to save 80 games, but you give him another 40 opportunities. Because he only had 2-3 blown saves the year he had 40 plus saves. You
Mhm.
give him 15, 20 more. But when he's the only highlight of the bullpen, you're going to lose a lot of games between the 5th and the 8th inning going into the 9th. So
I mean, you got to think the Cubs really haven't ever had a dominant closer.
no.
I mean, after Kerry Wood shit the bed, but it started to fall off, they threw him in the bullpen just to throw him in there.
Which he wasn't terrible in the bullpen.
Right. But it wasn't vintage Kerry Wood, you know. It wasn't the Kerry Wood 20 strikeout Kerry.
I mean, we had Chapman that half
Right,
year,
right.
which he
Yeah.
came in and shut down games.
Yeah, absolutely. They did the same thing with Dempster towards the end of his contract, threw him in the bullpen. He
Yep.
wasn't terrible.
Turned
coming
into
out.
that long reliever 6-man.
Yeah.
So with closing thing for Cubs, Ian Happ leadoff hitter. Lineup. Let's go through a little mock lineup what we see as of right now. Obviously, this will change once they start playing games and once we get a feel because Rossi will start putting his quote unquote everyday lineup together towards the end of spring training. So I'll go first. Happ leading off. Obviously, there's no choice around that. And I think when he doesn't lead off, I see it being Rizzo occasionally, but I really see it being Jack Peterson. And Happ stays off. I'd say 7 out of 10 times he leads off, and the other 3 times is Rizzo.
Okay.
I'd like to see Nico up there a little bit too. 2-hole, so we'll go Happ. 2-hole, I'd say Jock, depending on the matchup. I mean, if we got a lefty up there, drop him in the lineup a little bit. But say we're facing righty, I'm going Happ leading off, Jock in the 2-hole, Bryant in the 3-hole, Rizzo cleaning up. I like Contreras 5-hole, but I don't see him being 5-hole. I see they'll put Baez 5-hole.
Really?
I see Baez 5, Contreras 6, Hayward 7, and then the platoon of Nico and Bodie in the 8-hole. But like I said, I do see Nico possibly leading off games when Happ's not playing, or if they just want to shake things up. But that's something that Madden did that killed the Cubs, is not having a consistent leadoff hitter after Fowler left. And it's hard to get a groove. Because hitting leadoff, I hit leadoff in high school. A majority of my senior year, I hit leadoff a lot, and then I got drafted 2-hole. It's a way different approach, bat 1 to anywhere else.
Right.
One,
100%.
you got to be ready because mostly
Right.
the first pitch, which I love to see it. Hap does a good job of looking for that very first pitch of the game because normally the starting pitcher is looking to get one over the very first pitch, and a lot of guys are in the mindset of I'm gonna make him throw me a strike.
Right.
And a couple years ago, Hap led the season off with a home run in the very first pitch of the MLB season. He led off with a home run.
Versus the Brewers, right?
No, the Marlins. Where they're in Miami.
Yeah, Marlins. You're right.
Um,
You're right. Yep.
but if I like Hapler because he's going to be aggressive with the first pitch. A lot of guys stand up there like this, watch that first pitch go by, and then you're down on one. I do like. Obviously, if it's not there, don't swing. But you got to have the mindset of
I'm
if
taking
it's
this pitch yardage
there,
over the plate.
I'm gonna hit. If it's over the plate, I'm gonna put the bat on the ball.
Right.
And
100%.
and then obviously 9-hole
100%.
pitcher.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think not having a consistent leadoff hitter with Madden definitely hurt us more than it helped us. I like the way he switched up the lineup, though. It was always kind of a
Yeah,
toss up going in the game.
2 through 9. I mean 2 through 8. I mean because he did rotate the pitcher and our ninth man. 2 through 9 can be switched up. Like it's weird to
Right.
say that because if you don't play baseball, you wouldn't understand.
Right.
But like I said, it's just a totally different mindset. Batting first, you're leading off the game.
Mhm.
You're leading off. A lot of times, obviously, it's gonna fall differently where you're not gonna lead off the inning, but you're gonna lead off innings a lot more than other players. So
Right.
it's a completely different mindset batting one than
Yeah,
it is
you gotta
batting
have
two
that
through nine.
mindset. 100%. Um, I think opening. Are we just talking opening day lineup?
Yeah,
I think opening day lineup is Happen center, Jock in left, KB at third, Riz at first. I think they go Contreras behind the plate. I think I don't know. I think they start off with Hayward in the 6 hole, in right. Then I think they go Baez 7, and like you said, the platoon of Bodie and Nico at 8, and then pitcher 9. The only reason I say that is because Javi played so bad last year to the point where he was hitting 8 at the end of the year.
yeah.
And I don't think that they give him the jump right. I mean, unless he excels in spring training, which I hope he does.
Yeah.
I don't see him batting in this. I think you could even throw him at the 5. I mean, I don't see him going above the 6. I think Contreras in the 5 spot. Contreras works really well. He hits the shit out of the ball and can put a lot of contact on the ball just in general. And you need that out of the 5 hitter sometimes.
I do think we're being very over optimistic about Peterson batting a 2-hole.
Yeah, I do as well. I think
I see Baez or Contreras realistically batting 2, or KB.
I think it just depends. Lefties, I think Peterson probably bats 8th.
I wouldn't say 8th. He hits better than Hayward, and he's got more power than Nico and Bodie. The 8-hole is going to be. I mean, and Bodie and Nico are both faster than him, so you get one of them on with no outs. That pitcher's going to bunt him over.
Right.
But yeah, I think against the lefty, Jack probably bats 6th or 7th, and then you're gonna top load with righties.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. I mean, I think we have the opening day starters set at this point. I think the only toss up is Nico or Bodie, and I think it just depends on who's gonna be throwing first or throwing against us. I think they'll probably give the nod to Bodie. I don't know.
It's going to come down to games this spring as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you can go either way. I think there's a lot of looking into it. I don't think either one of them have started an opening day game. Unless we put KB in left last year.
They didn't start opening game. No,
games.
Nico started games.
Nico started opening day last year?
No. Neither one of them started opening day. I'm just saying Nico's started games.
No. Yeah. I'm not saying that he didn't start. I'm just saying opening day start.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it can go either way. That's just about it for Cubs talk. We're not really. There's not a whole lot going on. We're gonna preview some games for Wednesday and Thursday. We'll start off with the Rockets, taking on the 76ers. 76ers are 11-2 at home. Yep, tonight, Wednesday. Rockets are 11-16. They just had a pretty big loss against the Wizards, which was unfortunate. 76ers had a loss. Ben Simmons had 42, and they lost to the Jazz.
Yep.
So
And
they're
Simmons
looking to
is
bounce
out
back from that.
tonight.
Yep. Pistons at Bulls. This is a makeup, or not a makeup game, just a reschedule game. The Bulls were supposed to play. Who was it? I want to say the Magic. Maybe I don't know. They were supposed to play someone. It got postponed. Pistons are gonna take that spot. Bulls are both teams. excuse me, are 4-6 in their last 10. Pistons are 2-11 away. Bulls are 4-9 at home. I'd like to see that home record get up a little bit. It's just a needed win for the Bulls. Levine's been playing hot. Kobe White's been playing hot. It'd be nice to just have them, fall out against the Pistons, who are sitting Blake Griffin for the rest of until they trade him.
Until they trade him or work out a deal. But
yeah.
The Pistons have been looking decent as of late. They've been beating good teams.
They have.
So I mean, you expect the Bulls to win, but I mean, obviously it's a toss-up, depending on what Pistons team shows up.
Right.
Then
exactly.
we got the Heat versus the Warriors tonight as well. Heat are 11-16. They're 4-9 on the road, and the Warriors are 15-13 and 10-6 at home. Steph's been playing off his mind. His numbers are
Warriors are also 7-2 against teams under 500. So winning those games, you need to win in the NBA.
Yep. And losing close ones to good teams. Steph's having another MVP caliber year. He's got
second in scoring right now.
Very similar stats to the year he won the MVP unanimously.
100%.
And then we'll jump into Thursday's games. Raptors are 13-15, 7-9 on the road. They're playing at Milwaukee. Who are 16-12 and 9-3 at home. Bucks looking to snap a 4-game losing streak. They've been falling apart, not really playing well down the stretch of games, starting out kind of hot and just fizzling away. But I mean, it's still early. The Bucks are going to figure it out. The Raptors are going to figure it out. It'll be interesting. Interesting to see the standings in a month.
Yeah, I agree. Bucks have been playing like shit recently. I mean, there's no denying it. They've been playing bad. Raptors aren't, like you said, they're not the greatest team. They've been playing.
They've got the talent, but they've just been playing bad.
Mm-hmm. So it's two teams that are looking to have a big win against another Eastern Conference opponent. Nets at Lakers tonight. Nets are 18-12, 7-7. Tomorrow, Thursday. 18-12, 7-7 away. Lakers are 22-7, 9-4 at home. AD out for I think 2 weeks. I think he'll be reevaluated.
Like that, yeah. And KD and Kyrie are both out.
Yep. So it's just going to be Harden versus Bron, really. We'll see how it goes. I hope. I mean, I'm going to be pulling for the Lakers just because Nets are in the East, and I want the Bulls to make the playoffs.
Need all that.
Yeah. Rounding it out, got a college basketball game on Thursday. Another Big Ten matchup. Number 11 Iowa heading to number 21 Wisconsin. Just going to be some seeding results for A, the tournament, and B, the Big Ten tournament. Hopefully, Michigan State gets a nod into the Big Ten tournament either way, right?
Huh?
Michigan State gets a nod into the Big Ten tournament no matter what, right?
Every team makes Big Ten tournament, yeah.
Right. So realistically, the only way they win or they make the tournament is if they win the Big Ten, right?
Yep, because it's a guaranteed spot.
Right. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Big Ten is, I think, the basketball conference right now.
Yeah.
You can make your case for the Big 12. There are a lot of top 25 teams in there, but Big Ten basketball is, Illinois is on the run, come up, Ohio State's doing well, Michigan's doing really well.
Wisconsin, Iowa, Purdue.
Yeah,
basically every team besides State.
And Penn State. Penn State's fucking bad.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think that's going to do it for our Wednesday episode, February 17th, 2021. Zach, got anything to take us off?
Go Cubs.
Go Cubs, man. Spring training officially people reported today. So spring training is on the roll. without further ado, thank you for stopping in. Thank you for listening. Share that shit everywhere. Give us a like, give us a sub, whatever you got to do. We appreciate it all. Um, without anything else, you guys have a great rest of your night. Take it easy.